Hello, my name is Noah Omari, and today we will be talking about the many financial issues affecting Aston Manor Academy. And we now go over to Arian, who's interviewing our head teacher, Miss Robert.
Hello, my name is Arian, and today we are going to be talking about budget cuts. We are going to be interviewing the head teacher and the business manager. So my first question to the head teacher is, how do you think budget cuts affect the schools?
Okay, the budget cuts are really quite serious that are coming up now, and Mrs. Laura and myself are very worried about them. One of the things that we are absolutely keen to do is to protect the number of fantastic teachers that we've got here at Aston Manor Academy, because what we have done over the past few years is what we call overstaff. So class sizes can range from a maximum of 30 to a minimum of 12 when you're in year 11. So we've protected small classes and small group sizes because we think that's where children learn best. So that's the first thing that we really want to do. Okay. Secondly, one of the things that we're worried about is perhaps being able to spend money on new technology. We're very lucky that we've got a lot of computer rooms in this school. We've got a lot of iPads. All of our sixth forms have their own laptops and tablets. But with the budget cuts, we're not sure how long we're going to be able to sustain those. All right? Okay. And then another thing that really concerns me is a lot of our children can't afford expensive holidays and going away during the summertime. So what we as a school try to put on lots of trips and activities and even trips abroad that our children can go on. But the school subsidises those trips very heavily, doesn't it? Right? So if you go off to the Lake District, you might pay £50, but it's probably cost the school £150. Okay? But it's an experience that you will have that you might not ever have anywhere else. And so our worry is that children in this school, most of whom don't get to go away an awful lot, aren't going to have the opportunities to do that as well.
Thank you. My next question is, how would you change things if budget cuts didn't affect schools?
You mean if we had all the money that we wanted?
Kind of.
Well, I think we'd have a new school.
Yeah, we'd have a brand new school.
Brand new school. Because lots of super duper facilities for you all to have.
We were going to be a brand new school under something that was called Building Schools for the Future. But then the government pulled the plug on that just as we were about to get that brand new school. So we were really upset. So if you think about Broadway and Holt, right, the two closest schools to us, they are both brand new buildings, aren't they? And yet we're still in our 1969 built building, even though we do the best that we possibly can.
We do.
You know, but if we had a lot of money and there weren't any budget cuts, we'd be improving the facilities within the school. You can just see, actually, we've been trying to do a new AstroTurf for years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, we can't do it out, you know, what we've had to do is borrow the money to pay for a new AstroTurf because that AstroTurf wasn't fit for purpose anymore, was it? So we've trying all sorts of ways that we can to keep the school as good as it possibly can be, but it's becoming increasingly difficult.
And budget cuts is definitely going to impact on that, because that's going to be the first things that we have to stop doing, is maintaining the school to such a high standard.
Okay. And my final question is, do you think teachers get upset due to pay rise because the school can't afford to give them the salary and stuff?
You're absolutely right. I mean, we've got a very strong team of staff, right? Some of whom are ready now to move on to the next level in their career, and they'd like it to be here, but unfortunately we can't afford to keep them. And so we're going to lose some really good teachers to other schools because we can't afford them. So for instance, Mr. Williams, you know Mr. Williams, the assistant head teacher, he leaves at the end of this week, but we're not replacing him because of the budget cut. So that means that everybody else on the senior leadership team has had to take on his roles for no additional money. But we're not going to make sure, we're going to make sure that we cover everything that he did, but we're not replacing him with another assistant head. So it is hard, it's very hard, because we would like to maintain some of the staff that we've got. Or, you know, I can't think of any member of staff that we wouldn't want to maintain and keep, but we can't do it with the budget cuts. So I do think it impacts on the teachers, yeah.
So thank you very much for letting me interview both of you. Hello, my name is Aryan, and today we are going to be speaking to the librarian here at Aston Manor Academy and getting her opinion on how budget cuts affect the schools around the country and the UK.
Hello.
Do you think teachers get affected on how they teach across the UK?
By budgets,
Yeah.
is it? Yes, I think for all schools and colleges and all education, budget cuts have a massive effect on what they can do, because it means the head teacher have a very difficult job in trying to assess what money should go where, and when that money is reduced, it means that, say, different departments may not have as many teachers as they should have, may not have the resources that they need, to do, like, say, fun stuff in lessons, stuff like that, and also just the way the school runs, because if you talk to Mrs. Roberts, which I think you have, a lot of money is spent on just the running of the school, all the bills they have to pay and so on. So budget and lack of it has a big effect on education.
Do you know much? Do you know how much people get affected by budget cuts? Also, do you think if you had the money, power and resources, how would you change things?
Okay, if I had power and money, well, the first thing I'd do is maybe look at the way teachers are trained. In this country, maybe are not enough young graduates from university are trained to become teachers. We could have better quality training at universities. And in terms of sort of affecting people's lives, I would allocate money to, say, poorer areas that need a bit of a boost. Their schools may need, parts need rebuilding. Books, resources, libraries, of course, very close to my heart. All places like that. Also things like scientific research, new stuff in maths. So, if you had endless money, you could change lives, and you could make schools and academies just so much more effective. So yes, I would put money into education and into, like, literacy and libraries, and it make a massive difference to people's lives.
Do you think there's more ways of teaching out there, but we're too scared of losing money because of budget cuts and how they affect us?
Well, I think lots of schools, especially Aston Manor, do a fantastic job. Budgets will always be limited. Are there different ways that we could teach? Yeah, probably. I mean, you could have more sort of field trips. You could be out doing much more exciting things if you had the money, if you had the staff resources, because obviously if you go anywhere, you do new things, you need new expertise. We might just need more staff to supervise children. So in a sense, yes, I don't think we're too scared. It's, there are traditional ways of running schools and of teaching, and of course we want some of that, but we also want the new cutting edge stuff, but it does all cost money, Arian, and talk to any sort of senior leader at school or head teacher, and when you've got great ideas, like I want to do this, I want to do that, the first thing they'll say is money could be an issue. Won't they?
Yeah. Thank you very much for letting me interview you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
And this is Irene reporting live from Aston Manor Academy in the library. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Aryan Muradi, and today we are going to be talking about budget cuts and how they affect schools. I am joined with Miss Madam Afan, the head of language, and we are going to be interviewing her on how budget cuts affect schools. Firstly, do you think teachers get affected a lot on how they teach people here at Aston Manor Academy?
Affected by?
Budget cuts.
Everything get affected by budget cuts, so even teachers. So if there is less money, so less teachers are employed, and that obviously affects the education of the pupils.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you think people get affected by budget cuts? Like, we here at Aston Manor, we're quite close to Newtown, and it's like a big area. But how would you say across the country, like little villages or schools? How do you think they get affected more than us?
Depend where you are. Okay, so if we take Aston Manor, if there is less money, it means less facilities to use, resources. Okay, so even within the community, sometimes you cannot use facilities that's part of the community. Like if you take the swimming pool, for example, if they close it because of budget cut, so the pupil cannot use the swimming pool. Okay, so we are kind of linked, so anything that affects the community will automatically affect the school, because we do use the facilities within the community.
Do you believe there's more ways of teaching out there, but we are too scared of losing money because of the budget cuts? We are being set back. If we like go out there and like pay a lot of money for like new resources.
But what do you mean? What do you mean by different?
Like other ways of teaching.
Okay, other ways of teaching.
Because we've like stuck to one way of teaching.
Which is?
Well, a teacher teaching, we could like bring in more visitors.
Okay, but all this needs money. Okay, yeah. So if there is a budget cut, it means we cannot afford to get visitors from outside to come to school and deliver sessions. We cannot actually take pupils on educational trip or to visit educational places. Okay, because of the money. So it will definitely affect teaching. Maybe not directly teaching the way we teach in the classroom, okay, but saying that, it will sometimes affect even your teaching in the classroom, because if I haven't got the right resources, if I haven't got the right technology, because particularly now with the use of iPads, computers, the technology in general, so if there is a budget cut and school cannot afford to get this type of facilities or resources, then obviously it will affect teaching. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for letting us interview.
Pleasure.
Okay, I am Librarian reporting live at Aston Manor Academy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Arian, and today we're going to be talking about budget cuts and how they affect schools. First, do you think budget cuts affect how teachers teach pupils at Aston Manor Academy?
Well, I don't think it does, but having smaller classes, especially with GCSE, would be nicer, so we can help people more.
Because the school has just introduced Spanish, do you think that affects budget cuts?
Well, not yet, but I hope that I will get enough pupils to run a GCSE group next year.
If you had the money and power, how would you change things?
If I had the money and power, how would I change things?
Like budget cuts?
I would. It's a hard question. I think I would buy more iPads, because it's a bit annoying sometimes to have to share iPads.
Yeah.
It's good sometimes, but sometimes it is a bit annoying that people don't want to work in teams. And sometimes we don't have enough for the whole class. Also, sometimes what happens is, because it's on the ground floor,
yeah.
If you book the iPad, then other teacher can't have the iPad. And sometimes you want to use the iPad as well, so it's a bit annoying. So I think I will go for new technologies. I will
so you think like upgrading technology?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Do you think some people get affected because of like locally schools? They don't have as much money, and when budget cuts affect them, they like get affected a lot more than normal schools in the towns and centres.
I don't think so. I mean, if the teacher is really good, if the pupils are engaged, if everything's going fine, I don't think you need that much money. You don't really, Having technologies is very nice, but if you don't have it, you can still have amazing lessons.
So thank you very much for letting me
It's alright.
interview you. I am Marianne, reporting live at Aston Manor Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. I've been Omari and you've been watching BBC School News Report. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it.